Hey, good morning, guys. Hope you guys are all doing well. It is, I'm a little late on this video. This is one I've been planning for a while, just based on some feedback that I've gotten from you guys. I actually was planning on this posting yesterday, but hopefully it's going to post now, which is Thursday. And this is just going to go through all of my routers and exactly what they weigh and what the power level is on the routers, amps, and kind of compare them to each other. So I've got, you can't see it from this angle. I'm going to come back on a separate scene and show you the routers that I've got here. I've got 10 routers here on the bench. I've got 2 routers that aren't here, but they're duplicates of ones that are here. So anyway, I'm going to go through them each one by one, tell you exactly what they weigh. That way you guys can kind of compare what I've got. Now, there's lots of routers that I don't have, and they're on my list. I have an even dozen right now, and it's not quite enough. Anyway, you guys know my feeling on that. But anyway, we'll come back on a separate scene. I'm filming this by myself, so we'll come back on a separate scene. I'll show you these routers, what they weigh and what the power rating is, and then you guys can have a more informed information for a more informed information. You guys have more information to make an informed decision. That's what I was trying to say. Anyway, we'll be right back. So there are my 10 routers that I have. We've got quite a variety of them, and I'm going to go through them one at a time. And then I have my little postal scale here that I use for shipping every day. So this will kind of give us an idea of exactly what they weigh, and I will chart them out so you guys can see. So we'll be right back. All right, so we're going to start off with the big boys. Well, big for me. So this is the Porter Cable 690 LR. Great router. As far as full-size routers, this is definitely one of my favorite. It's a workhorse. This thing just does so much. It's got so much power. So I'm going to turn my scale on, and I'm hoping you guys can read it from there. So it is going back to 0 now. So we are going to weigh that. That weighs 8.08. And I'm charting these all out, and I'll show these at the end. So that, oh, actually I weighed that one out of spot. So it's basically 8.0. So let's get that one off the scale. Now, the DeWalt, oh, by the way, and this is, the 690 is 11 amp. So it's, I guess it's around 2 horsepower, something like that. You know, they used to all talk about horsepower, but now it's really more about amp than it is horsepower. So now I've got the DeWalt, or the DeWalt 618, which again, one of my favorite routers. Again, you can see I've got it set up right now for doing some flattening, some sled flattening with my router sled. And so I don't have the base plate on it, so I'm going to weigh the base plate along with the router, so it gives it a real comparison to the Porter Cable. 8.5. So that with the base on there, it's 8.5. So these are pretty much comparable routers. I think that you know, that this Porter Cable 690 probably would do everything that you wanted to do, and there is a 618 model, a lesser horsepower and amp model. I'm not sure what it is. I don't have it, but it's 616, which probably would be a little bit lighter than the 618. Anyway, so I'm going to move those out of the way. Again, guys, I'm kind of filming this by myself, so I'm hoping everything shows up. So that's the big boys. Now let's drop clear down to the other end of the spectrum. This is a Harbor Freight Drill Master 2.4 amp. This is, a lot of you start off with this, and it's a great little router for what it is. I don't use it very much. I have used it a little bit in the past, but being as I've got all these others, I just don't use it very much. So this one is 3.6. But a lot of people really do a lot of work with these things, and I don't know, what it is, 30 bucks, I think, at Harbor Freight, something like that, maybe even less than that on sale. So now we move on to the Rigid 2401. This is a great little router. I'm not crazy about the mechanism as far as the depth adjustment, but it is a great little router. It's my son's favorite router. It's not my favorite, but it is a great little router. And the cool thing about this is all of these other routers, except for the big ones, all of them I have to open up the back side. This is already opened on the back side, so you don't have to modify the housing like you do on the DeWalt's and actually all of these others. So anyway, so let's see what that one, this is 5.5 amp and it weighs 3.98. We'll put 3.9, I guess. We're just taking the first two numbers, 3.9. So that's what the Rigid weighs. Let's move on. So now we've got the Makita heads up to the Bauer. These two pretty much are like the Bauer is kind of a knockoff of the Makita. They're both rated at 6.5 amp. So let's take the Makita, and this is the RT0701. This one weighs 4.6. 4.6 on the Makita. Okay, let's set that one aside. Well, let's see. Running out of room here. I think I'm gonna have to slide down. Just keep sliding to the left. All right, and the Bauer, in comparison, the Bauer is 4.1. Oh, it's quite a bit lighter. And the amperage is the same, 6.5 amp. That's interesting. I didn't expect there to be 5 ounces difference between the two, but interesting. And I think I like the Bauer a little bit better. Okay, so the Bauer and the Makita, I'm kind of surprised at the difference in weight on those. And they're exactly the same power rating. So, and I do like the Bauer. It's got a soft start, a really soft start. I really do like the Bauer. It's a great little router, especially for the money. I think the Bauer is maybe 20-30 bucks cheaper than the Makita at standard prices. All right, so we're moving on to the Bosch. Now, so the Bosch Colt actually comes in 3 different versions. It comes in the PR10E, the PR20E, which I have that one. I don't have the 10. The PR20E, and then the newest version of the Bosch Colt that I know of is the GKF 125 CE. So I'm going to measure these. So the Bosch Colt on the PR20E is rated at 5.6 amp. So let's see what that measures out to, what it weighs out to. So this one is definitely less powerful than the GKF, so it's 4.2 on the PR20E is 4.2. And then let's try the Bosch GKF, which is rated at 7 amp, and that is 5.1. So that's about a pound heavier, basically. 5.1. That's the most powerful router that I found. That's the 7 amp. That's the same as the DWP611. So that's the most powerful that we've looked at so far as the trim routers. So let's slide over a little bit more to the left. Hopefully we still got room on there. And we got 2 routers left. So we got the DCW600. Now this is what I call the battery powered version, or the cordless version of the 611. It's 20 volt. I don't know what that measures out to in amperage, but I have found that this thing has got more power than I thought it would, and it is pretty convenient not having a cord. I will say the more I use this thing, the more I really like it. So let's see what it weighs. It is 4.4. 4.4. And then the last, but not least, of course, and you guys know this is my favorite router. There's a lot of things that I really like about this router, but the main one that I like more than all of these others is the ring and the depth adjustment. It is so handy and is so convenient as compared to the others. But again, that's probably not a big deal to most of you. And so, you know, it's a personal preference. I like everything about this router. I really do. It's just my favorite. 5.0. So, 5.0. So that is, you know, 6 ounces more than the cordless version of it. I think it does have a little bit more power. And the bad thing about the cordless is I've only got a 2 amp hour battery. So if you had a heavier battery, a 4 amp hour or a 5 amp hour, or I think they even go up to like 9 amp hour. Obviously, it would weigh a lot more. The battery there's a lot there in the battery, and the 2 amp hour battery, this only lasts about, I would say, 15 to 20 minutes continual routing before the battery actually dies. But again, it's a cool tool. I really do like it. The more I use it, the more I like it. So, guys, I will come right back and we'll wrap this thing up. So there it is, guys. There's all the routers and all the information on it. I kind of charted it all out here. I'm hoping this will make sense to you. I think it's all showing on camera. Again, I'm filming by myself. But there was a couple surprises in there. I was kind of surprised that the Makita and the Bauer ended up being a little bit lighter. Now, why is this relevant? This is relevant because there are some of you out there that might not have the hand strength. Some ladies, talk about maybe the bigger routers, the best router for them to buy, maybe something a little bit easier to control. Again, this goes back to, I'm the one, I don't know of anybody using trim routers until I started using them, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years ago, whatever. So if you had to maneuver, like I grew up maneuvering the bigger routers, the 690s, the old Black & Deckers, 1.5, 2 horsepowers, and they were full size. When I started using the smaller routers, the trim routers, man, I love them. They're terrific for what we do. So this gives you an idea. And again, like I mentioned before, you can make a more informed decision now on what what you're going to do. Now, if you have any questions on any of these, I can't really talk to any other routers other than the ones I have. That's why I need to buy more routers. It's research. I'm doing this for you guys. I need another dozen routers so I can pass on the information to you. At least that's my story that I'm going to tell Vicky. Anyway. But I'm hoping this is helpful. If you guys have any questions on this, please let me know. Eric@makeawoodsign.com. And if I can answer any questions, I'm happy to do it. And if you guys have some feedback on routers that I don't have here, or even feedback on these particular routers, things that you like, dislike, whatever, I'd love to know it. Put it in the comments. You guys know that the more comments we get on the YouTube channel, the better it is for us. So I'd love some comments on here. So let me know what you guys think. Hope this is helpful. We'll see you on the next one. Love you guys. Bye-bye.